Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Investor More, and I'm back at a house flip we are almost finished with. So the interior is done. There's just a couple minor things we need to do before we list it, and we're going to show you what it looked like before, what it looks like now, and talk about why we did some of the things we did. Now, we are not HGTV. We are not here to make houses look absolutely perfect and do them up as much as we can. That's a really good way to lose money. But we do make them nice, make them safe, and do realistic repairs when we flip houses. So here you can see what the house looked like when we first bought it. It wasn't the prettiest house in the world, but it wasn't horrible either. And this is a house I bought from I did buy it from the MLS. I bought it from another agent. I am an agent as well, and that agent sent me this deal because she knows I buy houses, we flip them, and we're very easy to work with. And so we saw the house, made an offer of $310. They accepted, and we got to work on it. Now, this house doesn't have a ton of room on it. We'll talk about what we think it'll sell for, but it was a very easy flip compared to a lot of what we do. One thing we still need to do is gutters. We did the roof. That took a very long time to get done. Our normal roofer stopped doing roofs, and then a new roofer took a while, and he said the city permits took a while. Who knows what took the most time, but it took a long time. The inside, we obviously did flooring, paint, fixtures. We replaced the windows because they were very old, and stuff is so much more expensive now. Everything you do is more expensive now than a few years ago. And I remember when I first started in this business almost 20 years ago, flipping houses with my dad. I feel like things are like 3 to 4 times more expensive to repair than they were back then. It's just crazy how much it costs, labor-wise plus material-wise, and it takes a while to get things done as well. Now, one thing you'll notice, it still has a popcorn ceiling. A lot of people say, you've got to take the popcorn ceiling down, you've got to modernize it. You could, but we're still in a very tight real estate market. Interest rates are high. That's not helping anybody. Makes houses very expensive, but there's also very few houses for sale. So we don't have to make houses perfect. Even before, when we flipped houses before, during, and after the crash, we didn't make houses perfect. There's a lot of things buyers can do. And yards are one thing we talk about all the time. We don't spend a lot of money on yards. We will, add some things, make them better in some aspects. You can see what this house looked like before. But homeowners think, hey, I can fix the yard up myself. It's not a big deal. And that's something we can let them do. And it's very expensive to hire people to do yard work. If you're redoing sod, sprinkler systems, fences, it adds up a lot. So on this kitchen too, we didn't tear out everything. We didn't rebuild the whole kitchen. We painted the cabinets. I'm still not sure about that cabinet color, but a lot of people like it. Some people don't. I think I'm in the minority who think it looks weird, but we'll see how it goes. Nothing major in the garage. Cleaned that up. And again, with the kitchen, we could replace all the cabinets, put in new counters, do everything, spend another $5,000 to $8,000. And you have a really nice kitchen, but you might not sell for that much more than what it will sell for now. Just because there's a lot of different factors that go into housing affordability and what people can buy, inventory, and spending another, if you redo the kitchen, you redo the yard, you do the popcorn ceiling, you do all this extra stuff, all of a sudden you're spending $20,000, $25,000 extra on the house, and it might sell for $10,000 more than what it would sell for now. So it's definitely a financial game. We're not in it to lose money, that's for sure. And some people are like, you have to do everything. You don't. You can make them nice. You can make them livable, clean, and people still want them, and they want to live in this house. And plus, if we can keep our costs down and have a little lower sales price, that will make it more appealing to people in this market right now, where interest rates are making houses much more expensive as well. So again, here, we didn't do anything crazy. I was just showing you, I had my wide lens on before. This is what it looks like normally. But I think the wide lens is actually more what it looks like in real life. I think the normal lens makes things look smaller than they are. This room, flooring. A lot of people ask us why we put carpet in houses. Well, because we're in Colorado, it gets cold, and people like carpet in the bedrooms and sometimes a family room. We try not to put it in the living rooms or kitchen or anything like that, or definitely not bathrooms, but we can use it just fine, and that can be very region specific on whether carpet works in your area or not. In Florida, you don't see much carpet at all. Here, you don't see much tile at all, so that can change drastically depending on where you're at. This room in the basement also had this weird ceiling cutout thing that was very strange. We just took that out, sheetrocked over it. I think it looks much better now. And so the costs for this house were definitely in the windows, the roof. We had, we have employees that work for us who work full-time on flips. They did the painting, they did the remodel, they did the doors, the windows, the window install, and a lot of the labor, which really helps us out and saves us money. But materials are still expensive. Windows are probably 2 times as expensive as they were a few years ago. Everything's expensive. Luckily, this house had newer HVAC. We didn't have to do much there, just get it cleaned. The electrical, plumbing, things like that were all fine. It's a new enough house. So those are the major things we didn't have to do, which can really add up as well. So here's upstairs. Again, carpet, like I said, it's one of the easiest, cheapest floorings to do in our area as well. And people don't mind carpet in the bedrooms around here. Not a big deal. Lights, we usually get a pallet of those lights from Home Depot and work our way through them. And that saves us money by buying them in bulk. We've got a Managed Pro, Home Depot Managed Pro account, which saves us money as well, gives us discounts on everything we buy. We can run stuff through the bid room, and they send us there's this beautiful room before, and they send us clearance items and different things we can pick up as well. So we've got a shop with lots of materials, and where I put lots of our washing machines and dryers after we bought those from a defunct laundromat, and we're able to buy 30 sinks at one time when they have a giant clearance sale, or 50, 100 sheets of drywall if they have a big clearance sale, and we can get really good deals doing that as well. And then we also have lots of junk that's piled up in that shop too, but we did recently clean it up. It looks a lot better. But for this house, we couldn't spend a lot of money and redo everything because it just didn't have the value there. The neighborhood isn't worth as much to do that. And so this house is probably be worth $390, maybe $400. That might be pushing it. We're gonna have $30,000 in repairs, probably $30,000, and maybe not quite that much, probably $25,000, $30,000 other costs. It's not going to be a huge moneymaker, but it's a really simple, really easy one. We knew not much could go wrong, so it's still worth it for us to do it. And that includes financing costs, commissions, selling costs, everything that we have into this house. I'm an agent, so I can save money selling there, which is always nice. And this isn't an area in a price point where there's lots of buyers. It might seem like a very, very expensive house to many people. Finding a under $400,000 house in our area that's newer, remodeled, very, very difficult to do. So we're also considering whether we should stage this one or not. We've been staging stuff in the past, but it's taking a little longer to sell homes now, and I don't know with this one if we need to stage it or not. So we're considering not staging it. That's another cost that probably $1,500 to $2,000 to stage this property. We've already had it cleaned, so we might just go with listing it like it is, see how that does, go from there. Like I said, there's still low inventory, not many houses for sale, and there's still buyers even with high rates. So this should be a decent flip, do okay for us. We'll have more flips here coming up, finishing soon too. We've got another flip. We're waiting on a kitchen to come in. We are redoing the kitchen on that one. And every flip we do differently depending on what the house is, what it needs, what it looks like before. We've got another flip where we're just finishing up a few items out in the country that's getting really, really close. Then we've got another flip where the post-occupancy hoarder house, of course, that is almost done. We're just waiting on a couple items right there that are kind of taking longer than you'd like, but that's just the nature of this game. We bought another flip just recently that is not getting worked on yet, but will be soon. And then I've got another flip under contract. It's a condo that will need very little work, even less work than this one, so that's always nice as well. So we're still buying properties. We're still looking for deals, still looking for rental properties, still looking for commercial properties. It's hard to find right now. That's the biggest challenge. But while rates are high and it makes it tough on people, it's been worse before. They've had higher rates, worse real estate markets in the past. And unfortunately, the Federal Reserve doesn't listen to me when I tell them that interest rates are too high. So I think we're just going to have to deal with it until we see some changes. All right, so that's the property. This is kind of what it looked like before, and we'll have an update on it once it sells, goes under contract, all that stuff. We'll have after and before videos of the other flips we've got working on, updates on other commercial properties, rental properties, businesses, the laundromats, liquor store, all of that. So stick around. We'll be back soon.